The areas that are being discussed in this video are being shown in the bulleted text, and we do hope you enjoy this video.
But why do we use IT? And what do we currently use IT for? In everyday life, particularly for yourselves at the university, you will be absorbed, and your courses and a lot of things that you'll be dealing with will be quite relatable to using IT. For instance, using Aula, logging on to other platforms as well, but also in day-to-day life through your usage of internet banking. You may want to do some shopping, check facts and figures, look at, for instance, even small things, insuring your car, going online, checking different comparisons of your internet providers. There is such a host of things that are done on IT, but it's coming back to what we used to previously have before the days of the internet, and a lot of things were done through a manual process where you'd go, for example, to pay your gas or electric bill, you'd have to go to a shop and wait in a queue, meet a clerk at the desk, explain your meter readings, and then pass over your money. What that's trying to describe here is that it's quite a long and tedious process, whereas IT is shortened and improved the productivity, not just from the business perspective, but from the user as well. Whereas now we can just, for example, for a gas or an electric meter reading, we could go and look at your meter, we could check the number, we could log on to your account, we could put the number up there straight away, and we can also pay any outstanding payments that we have, and that's improving the productivity of getting things done as quickly as possible, whereas before it would have taken such a long time to do. So as in today's IT environment, we have so many options and formats available to get the job done correctly. That's with different platforms. So you could have like a laptop available to you, you can do it through your phone, if you've got a tablet basis as well, and also you've got it your desktop computer at home. So there's many formats that can be used to get something done really quickly, and from a business point of view, they will know that they're getting their productivity. And if coming back to our example of payment through like a gas or electric bill, and any other type, like for instance, it could be buying concert tickets. The profitability is going to be so fast because the money is getting there instantly, as opposed to waiting for the days where you'd have to queue up, pay, go through another system, sent off, for example. Now it's just done so rapidly, and that's why we're using IT, so we can get the job done quickly, efficiently, but the main thing as well is that it's profitable for businesses as well. It's a very big key word to remember, especially going into your test as well. Improving productivity is profitability from a business point of view. But in the old days, before we had IT, for example, to create a letter, we had pen and paper, we had an old style typewriter, and we had a dictionary. This is an argument that I'm not going to get into, but a lot of people will come to the fact that we've kind of neglected old ways of doing things because a computer is and software built in is doing everything for us. So for years, if you wanted to write a letter, for instance on the typewriter, be typing away, and if you made a mistake, there was no autocorrect or undo button available to you. What you had to do was take that piece of paper out, rip it apart, throw it in the bin, and start all over again. And the same goes if you made a mistake in your spelling, scrap the paper, start again. But with computing and what we've previously used, Microsoft Word, we can go in, type up a letter, we can check it out, and we can do the spell check, we can check any wordings, and then we can print it out. And even if that copy, we've even found errors afterwards, we can instantly go back in, file, print, and it'll print it out again. So we've moved ahead in terms of producing our work more quicker, but at the same time there's that argument that we previously what we had was a very manual basis, and it took us a long time. So having computing has made creating and producing work far more quicker. So if we have a task that we're needing to get done, and it's computer relatable, we could plan and choose the correct software to get the task done. So these two examples we've got on the screen here will help you with your as an example of what to expect when you go into your test. So the first question you're going to see is a scenario basis, but what I tried to do is I'm going to relate it to a real life scenario. So you've gone to work one morning and you've gone to a team meeting, and your line manager has come up with a task that needs to get done. So what they're explaining to you is the scenario that you've been given. So the first one, for example, is I have got to go to a meeting next week and show the team what my intentions are for the next year's workflow, the projections from the business, and where we need to meet to be at milestones in the year. So first of all, when you see that scenario of your line manager is explaining to you what is needing to be done, what they want you to do, you first have to look at what is expected of me. So you're going to be looking at the planning point of view, how you're going to get to that end result, what your solution is going to be. So you're assessing what has been asked, and then what the end product will be, what they're expecting of you, and what you're going to be doing, and how you're going to go by that as well. But from an improving productivity using IT point of view, we also need to know what the correct software that meets what your requirements could be. For what we've used in our past modules, we've used word processing, we've used Microsoft Excel, and we've also used Microsoft PowerPoint. So we're looking at this scenario just here, the first one, is that we have to go to a meeting next week and show a team workflows projections from the business. You'd look at all three applications we've used. Now, if there's going to be a big team, you're not really going to use Excel because it's going to be so many so much numerical data. It's not going to look very appealing to the eye. It's going to be quite tedious for the individuals, and they're going to be quite strained when they're following it as well. There's no harm in showing that in a graphical chart basis, but you want to be quite to the point, because you're going to be describing everything during that meeting, because you're just going to be like small bullet points. So with that, your software that would meet your requirements would be Microsoft PowerPoint, because you've got it in a visual point of view. It'll be good on the eye. It'll allow you to conduct the information that needs to be passed over to the individuals, and then, as stated afterwards, by all means, if they need it in a more detailed approach individually, then you can send the PowerPoint presentation out so they can digest it a bit more easier. So if we look at the second scenario at the bottom, I have been asked by my manager to design a new casing model for an electric meter that is going to be distributed out to all of our customers to use on the field. So the first point in that scenario is it's going to be distributed out to all our customers. So it won't be similar to the first scenario we just had, where it's going to be a team meeting where we're going to be presenting it. It's going to be distributed out. So you'll be eliminating Microsoft PowerPoint, but you're looking at Microsoft Word, and you'll be also looking at Microsoft Excel, which one would be the best one to use. So you're going to be designing a new casing model for an electric meter that is going to be distributed. With that said, though, you're designing a new casing model. Microsoft Word isn't suitable for design. It's creating documents and writing text and putting images for an individual to see. So once you complete something, you may be sending a invite or a letter out stating what's been done, but you're not designing it. So once again, you would be eradicating Microsoft Word from the planning. It's not a requirement. It doesn't meet our requirements. Then you can also look at Microsoft Excel. Of all of the free, it will have the free applications. When you design something, you're going to have numerical data. You're going to be checking the nuts and bolts and stuff. But at the same time, Microsoft Excel also isn't a design application, so that wouldn't be suitable for your needs either. So you're looking at Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. All three don't meet that requirements, which allows you to go out into the market and broaden your horizon to see what is out there. And with that in mind, just remember, if you are in the workloads environment, you will be probably expected to present a caseload of software applications that may be suitable. Bring them to the table, trial them out. Which one has the what has good, what has negative parts the size of it, weighing them out and see which one is the most likely suitable one, and then eliminating the ones you know that definitely isn't, and then you can run by that one that isn't. So looking at that example, I'll give you a case. It would be a computer-aided design application that you would be looking at to create your casing model, getting the measurements in, put it onto a file, and then it's there set available to you. And what that does as well is that because it's been created, everything is already available on file. So if you needed to get that design back up, you could click the file, bring up on the screen, and you'd know your measurements and everything that's done there, or redefine the design that was already done for us too. So just sticking with our free applications, because this is what you're going to be using, one of the free in the test. So understanding the Microsoft Office package purposes. So with Word, we're predominantly creating letters and newsletters, but also looking at it from a marketing perspective where we can distribute out through a mail merge, a letter going out to individuals. It could be a job interview, it could be an event that's happening, and a more detailed approach, say if you've been asked to conclude certain scenarios or something that's happened, and bringing a report together of your findings and facts that needs to be brought in, and then later that could be widened out to other individuals. Same again with the mailing if it's needed. Excel, numerical data, but showing it also in a visual perspective through charts, but most predominantly used for accounting. Cash flows, budgeting forecasts. Myself, at Coventry University, I use it for my my information students. We've got our all our detailed approach. I create everything in a structured setup where I know what's going on per learner. And for yourselves too, you may be doing a assignment or a group project where you want them to make sure you've got dates. And all your facts and figures that you concluded when you were doing your research, for example. Really good. So you're getting the information straight away by inputting into the cells that are available. And then finally, Microsoft PowerPoint, graphical promotion. Really good. So I've had previous experience where I've used PowerPoint, created slides to promote certain events that have been happening. Very good as well for staff training, so you can bring together a group of individuals that need staff training, and you can build slides on there, but the slides will have small wordings like bullet points where you can branch out because you are hosting and you're leading the training. And then also sales and instant information. If you want to set up a computer monitor on a desk and put slides there explaining certain instances, there may be something in your office that's happening in the week, or also if you're having to do a project where you have to point out something that's going on, that's available to you as well in PowerPoint too.